Okay, so what up, everybody? I.O.B.A, I'm T-Ce. So, this piece behind me, that's one of my slave pieces that I'm working on. It's not quite finished. You know, y'all know I like working in charcoal, but the piece has kind of a special meaning, and it's a slave on his way to the Americas to become an ADOS. It could be my great-great-great-grandfather coming over here to start my lineage. This is what we're trying to get Africans and others to understand. We didn't ask to come here. I don't know of any slave that asked to be stuffed in the bottom of a slave ship and brought over here. I don't know of anyone that asked to have that happen to them. So now we're here. We've been here since 1550, but officially, as far as I know, since 1619 as slaves. And we had our labor stolen, our culture stolen, and our name stolen, and all the rest of it. And now in 2019, we're trying to get some of that back. In 2019, we're trying to get recognized for what we are, captives. And you get some broad come on TV and say we immigrated here. Or you get some African or some Caribbean person coming on YouTube trying to explain our plight to us, or talking about how we not smart enough to start a movement like this. All of that shit is condescending and insulting. All of it is. And this is the kind of shit we've been dealing with. When I say we, I mean ADOS. This is the kind of shit we've been dealing with since we got here. That we have no intelligence. We have no measurable intelligence. That we are like puppies. That we are like children. That we can't come up with an idea, an original thought, or an idea on our own. That we have to be led around like children. Any movement or idea came from somebody else. It couldn't have come from us. And this is the idea. This is the attitude of a lot of immigrants. I remember when I worked up in Syracuse, New York, big, not a big, but a college town. And I used to run into a lot of immigrants, African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants. And, I was out there dating and going on, having a good time, whatever. But for the life of me, I could not get an African woman or a Caribbean woman to date me. Not one of them anyway. I mean, now I have a Caribbean wife. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. But when I was in Syracuse, if you weren't African, you couldn't date an African woman. They didn't want shit to do with you. If you weren't from Jamaica, then them Jamaican women would not fuck with you. On the other hand, American women loved Jamaicans and Africans. I don't know, something about the accents that they liked. But I gotta tell y'all, my Caribbean brothers and African brothers and Caribbean sisters and African sisters, we, Black Americans, ADOS, we loved y'all. We really did. We loved y'all. We thought y'all was the coolest motherfuckers ever. Well, most of us did anyway. I would get into conversations with motherfuckers before I thought they was cool. Because I'd heard a long time ago that y'all didn't really like us. But most people don't get the information I get because, like I said, I always dig deep into shit. I've been like that since I was a kid. But by and large, black Americans, we loved Caribbean people. We loved African people. We loved the fact that y'all were, y'all had y'all original culture, especially the Africans. Y'all had y'all original culture. And you knew who you were. So now, fast forward to 19, or really 18, but 2019, and the ADOS movement starts. We identifying with ourselves. We doing what I thought we should have done a long time ago, is we turning ourselves inward. Because like I said, we loved y'all, but y'all didn't love us. Y'all thought we was stupid, had all these fucked up ass names for us, telling us we didn't take advantage of this and we don't know how to do that. And when all you got to do is take a look in the mirror at yourself, and you can see how fucked up some of those countries are in Africa and in the Caribbean, how fucked up those governments are. And the same could be said for y'all. Y'all don't know how to do this and that. But just the same, like I said, we loved y'all. And like I said, I got a Caribbean ring on and a Jamaican bracelet on. I got a Trinidadian flag and a Jamaican flag and a Pan-African flag hanging up in my garage. In my garage/studio. This is how we felt. The whole Pan-African movement, that shit started with Americans. That shit started with Americans. And the Caribbeans that came over here in the early 1900s, Marcus Garvey, H. Sylvester Williams, these guys, they had a different attitude than you motherfuckers got now. And they tried to start those movements at home, and nobody was feeling them. And so they had to come to the United States where their ideas were, people were more receptive to their ideas about liberation and Pan-Africanism. And as soon as those ideas started to catch on, they got ran out of this country. But aside from all that motherfucking history, it's about what's happening now. Black Americans are owed a debt, a serious debt. And we haven't asked for any help from anybody else in collecting that debt. We'd appreciate the help if it came, but we haven't asked Africans or Caribbean people to help us collect that debt. We haven't. And a lot of us, ADOS people, this thought just occurred to me, a lot of us ADOS people might find out after digging into our true history that we're not eligible. Because we don't know. See, what y'all don't get is the degree to which white people in this country crushed any attempt at us finding out who we really are and where we really come from. Y'all don't understand the extent of it. Y'all have no idea. I mean, how many white people have you sat down with and actually talked to them? I mean, white people with any power sat down and talked to them about why they feel the need to keep their foot on the necks of black Americans the way they do. You see, a lot of it is fear. It's the same fear that's driving y'all to driving Caribbeans and Africans to fight against ADOS and reparations. Is the same fear that white people have when it comes to giving us our reparations and our tangibles. They're afraid that we're going to do to them what they do to us, what they did to us. They're afraid that we're going to treat them the way they treated us. And that to me, my personal opinion, that's driving a lot of this negativity. But the truth of the matter is, we don't really give a fuck about them like that. We want them to give us what they owe us and leave us the fuck alone. Let us build back up our black Wall Streets, plural, because there was many of them. Don't come in there burning them down, because that's exactly what they did. Don't come in hanging business owners because they open up shop in the wrong side of town. Don't do any of the shit that y'all do to hold us in a certain place. And that place is at the bottom of y'all's feet. Don't do any of that. And let us build and watch what happens. Because think about it. Anytime the playing field is truly level, we excel. And not just in athletics, in science, in literature, in art. We excel. So it's a lot of it's driven by fear. A lot of it's driven by fear. So, with that, I'm going to just say, the ADOS movement is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and it shouldn't go anywhere. Because like Professor Black Truth said, we've hit the reset button. Like I just had to do to my internet. We just hit the reset button. We turned the machine off, and now we're turning the shit back on so it can run right. And if you don't like it, just don't fuck with it. But don't be trying to sabotage it either, because that's not gonna end well for you. Jamaicans and Africans and Haitians and people from other parts of the country, other black people from other parts of the world. What y'all need to be trying to do is the same thing we doing, trying to get paid from the people who colonized you, from the people who oppressed you. That's what y'all need to be trying to do. You need to be trying to follow this example in Jamaica and in Haiti and in Trinidad and Tobago and in Barbados and wherever the fuck else you find yourself, especially in Africa, with them Chinese up in there fucking y'all in the ass with no grease. I'm just saying. Anyway, with that, I'm going to continue my Sunday. Y'all have a good one. Te-Ce, and I'm out.